Selena Gomez is deeply hurt by all of the hate surrounding her appearance. The internet dragged her for having botched plastic surgery, and at her recent charity event, things took a turn for the worst. Ariana Grande is making sure the Wicked music executives do not allow her soon-to-be ex-boyfriend Ethan Slater to do any interviews. You won't be seeing him on the red carpet, and you won't see him doing any podcasts, because she doesn't want him to have any opportunity to be asked about their now toxic relationship. EUGENIA Cooney is keeping a low profile after making headlines with her younger brother, but now that people are starting to dig into her past, they're realizing that her brother might be more problematic than what we thought.
I'm gonna say it, and some people can be upset down in the comment section all you want. The mother needs to be looked into, because this is such an extreme.
Nicole Kidman is upset after Keith Urban revealed how disgusted he was with her behavior with another co-star. She spoke about hooking up and having this animalistic attraction with another man, while expecting Keith to sit there quietly and comply. Sia is in a messy and expensive legal battle with her ex-husband, who she says needs to be investigated for crimes against children. But he's saying that Sia has an addiction issue and is a dangerous parent for their 1-year-old. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Let's Get Into It podcast. Today we've got a lot to discuss. Ariana Grande, Diddy, EUGENIA, Love Island drama. But I want to kick off this episode by talking about Selena Gomez. Let's get into Selena Gomez. I want to apologize to Selena because she received a lot of backlash last week after putting out a music video where people made fun of her appearance, and I don't think that that's okay. Do I think that, celebrities play around with filler and plastic surgery? Of course. And I'm sure Selena wanted to go into hiding after all of those comments. I felt so bad for her, but there's work to do because she had the Rare Impact Fund benefit, this charity event that I don't think she could reschedule. So of course, a lot of people were paying attention to how she looks because there's been so much speculation about her online. Now, props to Selena Gomez for her Rare Impact. They do a lot for mental health, and it's a lot of important work, which is why it's disappointing that the main focus was how is Selena Gomez going to look today? I mean, I think because people saw her at her wedding and she looked so beautiful, people were confused at the random screen grabs that were pulled from that music video. Now, Selena was immediately met with praise because she did not look like those distorted screen grabs. People said that she looked stunning and ageless. Now, I am not a makeup artist, but there was something a little bit off about her makeup. And again, that's like me as a male saying that. It does not mean much at all. But I did notice it. It was very brown, and her lip was a little, it was a little bit off. And some people felt that way in the comments. This person asked, why does her appearance change every week? Another person said, with that makeup, it makes me wonder if she knows she owns a beauty brand. Oh my gosh, you guys are being hateful. This person says she looks like a 65-year-old with a facelift, Botox, and fillers. I don't think she looks like a 65-year-old at all. Somebody said she's not that old, and whoever did her makeup, fire them. Which I do think that Selena does not look bad at all. Like her facial structure, I think just the makeup was probably a little bit off, which is a big deal for somebody who owns a makeup brand. And we've seen this before, actually, that picture of her on the red carpet when she had too much tanner on. And, celebrities, they're not perfect. They're going to have these mistakes.
What an amazing year. You've had your new album with Benny, 10 years of revival.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's wild.
You got married, and then tonight marks 5 years of the Rare Impact Fund.
Out of all of those things you listed, I'm so grateful, but this is probably the one thing I'm most proud of. 5 years strong, we've raised so much money. We're reaching 2 million young people every day through a mental health crisis and suicide prevention. We're doing so much, and I just hope that it's the beginning. When I first started Rare Beauty, I definitely didn't know it would be what it is, but I couldn't be more just blessed to see it do what it's done, because before we sold a single product, we created this fund.
There are so many people trying to drag Selena, but at the end of the day, she does have lupus. She was diagnosed in 2015. She even went under that kidney transplant. Remember, she calls Francia the girl who gave her kidney. and she did not invite her to the wedding, which is crazy that like Selena Gomez could, I don't know. I feel like if you saved my life with your kidney, I feel like we could probably get over any drama there is. But the thing is, lupus is an explanation for why people are criticizing her look, and she may look different because it gives you this moon face, a condition which causes swelling and roundness. The condition can also affect vocal cords, which is why some people say that she sounds a little bit different in some interviews. In other Selena news, we recently spoke about Somber and his cancellation. Part of the reason why Somber got so much backlash is because of how he interacts with his underaged fans, having them call him daddy and barking at them. But recently, Somber thought he was calling Selena Gomez while on stage, but instead, Benny Blanco answered the phone. Probably because Selena was like, wait, why is Somber calling me? And also, why would he do this to a friend on stage? This actually went down during a segment of his show, which is Call Your Ex on Stage, which is always awkward, but got even more awkward when he decided to call Selena, but Benny answered. If I was at this show, I would have felt so uncomfortable. Let's go ahead and take a look at this clip.
I'm gonna be calling my ex instead of you guys calling your ex.
So is he trying to say he's dated Selena Gomez? Like, isn't he like 20 years old?
Who's ready? Alright guys, when I call my ex, nobody fucking yell, so y'all can hear what's going on. I'm like shaking, I'm so nervous for this. Hello? Selena? Is this Selena? Benny? Is this Benny Blanco? Wait, is this Benny Blanco? Oh, it's Somber. Actually, Benny, I was meaning to call you. No one else. What's up, Benny? Somber, you know me, right, Benny? You know, Somber. It's a long story.
This is so cringe. Clearly, Benny's kind of like low-key offended that he's calling him. Like, wait, dude, why are you calling me?
You working on any new music? I'm sorry, I was trying to call someone else and you answered. So I didn't even know this was your phone number. I thought this was, you know who. Okay, well, that's awkward. Benny, I love you. Talk to you later, buddy. I'm sorry, Benny! Okay, I was trying to call your wife. Bye, Benny. Wow, okay, that was really awkward.
Let's get into Ariana Grande. Everybody is so concerned about Ariana Grande's relationship right now, but she's keeping everything under wraps, people. She wants this next movie to get an Oscar. We can't have any relationship distractions like we did the first time, but Ariana did reveal that she dyed her hair back brown, and the internet freaked out. It seems like we're getting our Ariana back. Galinda is finally starting to leave her soul. She wrote, "It's good to see me, isn't it?" So many people were like, finally, immediately so much better. The hair color looks gorgeous on her. Somebody speculated breakup hair. I mean, there have been so many rumors that Ariana and Ethan are headed towards a breakup. Ethan isn't going to be able to do any press on his own for the next film because they don't want him being asked about Ariana Grande. That's something that's really frustrating for Ethan. He's excited about the second part of the film, yet he can't even get his clout from the interviews. An insider says that Ariana and Ethan have been on and off for most of the year. He chose not to attend the VMAs because they had an argument just days before, but they made up soon after. They're running hot and cold with each other. Still wild to me that they left their respective partners for each other, and it was all over this like blip in this movie where they kind of liked each other, but now that the real world is settling in, they realize they're not right for each other. This comment says, "Can't build your happiness on someone else's misery," as they say. Somebody else said, "Now eat a few burgers." Okay. Eat a few burgers. You guys need to stop with the body shaming. I mean, trust me, I get worried about our girl Ariana as well, but who said this? Heart Ocean. Okay, Heart Ocean. Not very lovely of you, Ocean. Somebody else said, much better with dark hair. I wonder if Ethan is low-key jealous of Ariana and Cynthia's relationship, because I feel like I've seen more PDA between Cynthia and Ariana than I've ever seen with Ethan and Ariana. And recently, these two shared that they got matching tattoos in honor of the movie Wicked for Good. She wrote, "Happy Wicked Month, 20 days." Ariana captioned the picture. I feel like Ariana and so many celebrities have a bunch of these like little tiny tattoos. Is that like common? Do any of you guys have like anything like this? I mean, I do have a little triangle here, but otherwise I feel like Ariana's covered in them. The director of Wicked, John Chu, said that these two, Cynthia and Ariana, are the two biggest voices in the world, maybe in our lifetime. They could have hated each other. There could have been an insane diva ship, but they always put Wicked bigger than themselves. And I think that's a great sign of a great artist, that they could immerse themselves in Elphaba and Galinda. I mean, they truly kind of became those characters. I don't know about Cynthia, but definitely Ariana. This comment says, "Those ladies are in love." Another person writes, "They really love each other down." And finally, Cynthia's wife must be strong and or blind. I can't wait to see what we're going to get from this press tour. I believe in the next few weeks, few days, we're probably going to start to see way more interviews of these two, because they need to go and promote the film. I feel like last year, I had a plan to go and see it, but this year I haven't really made a plan. Are people as excited for this one as they were last year? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get into Eugenia Cooney. Recently, I tried to reach out to Eugenia Cooney because I had her number from back in 2023 when I had met her and interviewed her for the Let's Get Into It podcast. Of course, I want to be sensitive when talking about Eugenia's condition and what's going on there. I looked into the last time we actually spoke in messages, and it was, I believe, in Instagram in 2023. And I did send her a message earlier this year when her dog died, because I felt so bad about her dog passing. She did not respond to that, but it doesn't seem like she has the same number, or either she had me blocked, which I don't think she would have blocked me. But either way, I tried to reach out to see how she was doing. After she was spotted at Disney World with her family, a lot of people are questioning her mother, just concerned at what the dynamics are like within the home, especially because this is Eugenia and I believe her younger brother. Her younger brother, who also, I saw some things on Twitter, and I'm sorry to bring this up, but has drawn her in the nude multiple times. He likes to draw like naked girls that kind of look just like his sister. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. We're not going to even try to pull those up.
So Eugenia Cooney was just spotted at Disney World with her brother and her mom. And the person who took this picture said that they did not speak at all to each other. I mean, just looking at Eugenia, there seems to be an issue within the family. And I'm not really surprised, because this mom has been enabling this unhealthy behavior for years.
Now, it doesn't appear that Eugenia was filming for social media or taking any pictures. She's been really quiet when it comes to that, which I thought her going to Disney was part content creation. She liked to do that for her content, but to see her go and not creating content with her trips, it's interesting. I guess she just really likes Disney. Maybe her mom does, and her brother as well. People have been vocal about their concern over Eugenia's health for years, especially because she's an influencer who goes live for hours. People get to know her. They start to care. There's a parasocial relationship here. Eugenia did confirm that she had gone into some treatment back in 2019, but after speaking to her on my podcast episode, she did not have a great time with treatment. I remember her friend, I believe it was Jacqueline Glenn, actually convinced her that they were all going to go to an escape room. But what they did was they put her in a car and took her into a facility to be 5150'd or 5250'd, pretty much held by the state. And they told the state that her mother was being abusive towards her and that they couldn't even speak to each other. They had a duct tape on the ground in this room, and they had to be a certain distance away from each other because they felt like her mother was dangerous. Don't know what Jacqueline Glenn knew back then. Don't know what the state saw. Eventually, Eugenia was given back to her mom and her care, but I'll never forget that because Eugenia was pretty much traumatized by that. I think going out with friends and trusting them and then being put into that position is probably if you want someone to seek help, maybe don't convince them that you're going to an escape room and actually take them to a hospital.
Everyone was thinking that this image of Eugenia Cooney was fake because of how her legs are, and it honestly took me a minute to get it as well. It's just because her legs are crossed. I thought she just had some kind of pirate peg leg going on at Disney. But as it turns out, that shit was not fake, and it's real, because here's another angle of Eugenia from the same day. Her mom is over here giving very, like, lowered expectations. And then this is still her brother. I am still so shocked. I had never seen her brother before. It is clear that these two are on the opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to food. And it's giving that maybe she saw him and the mother and was like, oh, I don't want to be like that, so extreme this way. I'm gonna say it, and some people can be upset down in the comment section all you want. The mother needs to be looked into, because this is such an extreme.
Let's get into Nicole Kidman. Now that Nicole and Keith Urban are starting to go into their like hateful era in their divorce, we're starting to learn more about what their relationship was really like. And it seems like Keith was so over Nicole. Sources say that Keith grew increasingly uncomfortable with his wife's candid public remarks about her sexual reawakening and passionate chemistry with her much younger co-stars. I mean, I think we all thought this. Like, I just couldn't imagine Keith being 100% cool with his wife acting this way and speaking about her co-stars this way. It was all so cringe to watch, so it's kind of satisfying knowing that he was cringing the same way we were. Keith was not okay with Nicole talking about her awakening or animal attraction to co-stars and has been living his own life, not the animal attraction that makes me gag. The insider added that the country singer decided to move out of their home in June. He set up his own place in Nashville while Nicole stayed in their home, trying to keep their split quiet. It is interesting. It feels like every movie she did, it was kind of like an affair. The breakup did shock fans, but the source says that the separation was coming for a while. They were using time apart to quietly and amicably work out the details of their divorce. Nicole's openness about her intense on-screen roles rubbed Keith the wrong way. Her comments about being so turned on during intimate scenes for Baby Girl. Remember, she was speaking about her 28-year-old co-star, Harris Dickinson. She said that she was so turned on by working with him that they had to like pause production because she was just overwhelmed. She said, quote, "There were times where we were shooting and I was like, I don't want to orgasm anymore. I don't care if I'm never touched again in my life. It was almost like a burnout." She said that she found it liberating to play such a raw and dangerous character. Wait, that is so gross. So she was actually was she actually doing that in the moment? So it was not acting.
Nicole Kidman says she had real orgasms while shooting this movie. And I completely understand why. This movie was wild. Scenes was crazy intense, mad cringe. We was in the theaters, like, awkward as hell. Avoiding eye contact. Couldn't help but laugh at some of these scenes. You heard people fidgeting in their seats, and you know why they was fidgeting.
She also praised Zac Efron for their on-screen romance for A Family Affair. I mean, this animal attraction, this she doesn't want to orgasm anymore. No wonder Keith was turned off. But there are reports that Keith has also linked up with a much younger partner. Her name's Maggie, and she's part of his band, yet there have been other reports saying that they are not a thing. I think Keith is probably living in his bachelor era now. Nicole supposedly feels betrayed and shattered, but I mean, why didn't they ever talk about their boundaries? And why was she seeking out these roles? Why wasn't she having this animal attraction to her own husband? What do you really want? Not what friends expect or what family tells you. What do you want? That is what Field is all about, spelled F-E-E-L-D. Field is a dating app built around curiosity. It gives you room to explore your desires and who you may become. There's no judgment here and no pressure to fit into a box. This is the app for people who are constantly evolving. Maybe what you liked yesterday isn't what you're wanting today. It's not what you're craving today, and that is okay. 62% of Field users say that their sexuality or their interests evolved within their first year, and Field welcomes your path. And it's different than the platforms you're used to. There's no fast swipe culture either. It takes away that idea that attraction happens within seconds. You don't have to just see one photo and know whether that's your soulmate or not. Field also supports more than 20 gender and sexual identities. You can be honest, open, and completely yourself. No fake bios, no pretending. Find who you may have shared desires with. Download Field right now in the App Store or on Google Play to start exploring and enjoy. Now, I know you guys have heard of GLP-1 drugs, everyone has, but there are also other options out there, and there's some natural approaches, which is why I wanted to introduce you guys to Veracity. Veracity is an all-natural way to slim down, boost energy, and sharpen your focus. And what are they doing differently? They're changing the real problem, which comes down to your metabolism. I know everyone's always talking about a fast metabolism, a slow, it's supposed to slow down as you get older, which is scary, but their bestseller, the Metabolism Ignite, is the #1 doctor-recommended GLP-1 booster and alternative. There are no side effects, no allergens, no injections. It's clinically proven to cut hunger by 85% and help you lose about 9 pounds in 90 days. And if you're already taking GLP-1s, you can also take these alongside it. So make the switch to GLP-1s in a natural way. Go to veracityselfcare.com and use code SLOAN for up to 45% off your order. Again, that is veracityselfcare.com and use code SLOAN. And thank you, Veracity, for sponsoring this episode. Let's get into the Love Island drama. Even though Love Island has wrapped up, the drama continues, especially after we see these characters start to laugh at racially motivated slurs. The problem with Love Island is that they just pick up like random people who are not celebrities and have a past and don't know how to behave and are not vetted people. So we're getting some of probably the worst people ever on this show, and their behavior in real life is starting to play out, and we're seeing their true colors. If you guys watched Love Island, I actually hung out with Grace Lynn. Shout out to Grace Lynn. The other day I got dinner with her, and she's good friends with one of my friends here in LA. She's very sweet. I'll say she's the only one I could defend here because I don't know any of the other ones personally, but Huda is the one who's finding herself in trouble. I remember we spoke about Huda in the podcast early on when the show kicked off because people were worried about her stability. Well, Huda and her boyfriend thought it was really funny when a fan called in on live stream and called their castmate Olandria the N slur. Here's a clip of this moment that went viral on social media.
Whoa, hey.
Yo, I turned that off.
Hey.
Yo, what did they say? They said a bad word.
Now, immediately Huda tried to defend herself, saying the laughter was because it was awkward and she was nervous. But I think anyone in their right mind, if they heard someone they're cool with or someone from a show or anyone just being called that kind of word, it would make me more jump, kind of shocked, not maybe laughing, bursting out laughing at this.
Selena is the perfect example of someone the internet refuses to hold accountable. Every time she slips up, people rush to say, she didn't mean it. Y'all are overreacting. But at some point, y'all gotta stop mistaking charm and popularity for character. We all watched the clip. I clearly heard what was said. Now, she did say the slur herself, but her reaction, it spoke volumes. Laughter wasn't just awkward, it was acceptance. And that's where accountability comes in. You know what's crazy? I've always been really neutral when it came to Huda. Never hated her, never defended her, just kind of stayed out of it. After seeing that, I was like, yeah, baby, go ahead and log off for me. Maybe she laughed because she was uncomfortable. Okay, but hear me out. She's not just some random person on the internet. You're somebody with brand deals, somebody who has influence, an audience that's watching your every move.
Super messy behavior on Huda's part. I mean, if you want to be brand safe and make it in this world as an influencer, you need to act smarter. Also, who raised you? Why are you laughing at this? Especially when your boyfriend who's black is right next to you. He actually said on social media, I don't want to give this person that said the slur the satisfaction they get from this, but I have to come here and say something because it wasn't what we heard. Both Huda and her boyfriend are trying to play this narrative that they didn't understand the person, even though in the other clip that was picking up audio, everyone else could clearly hear what this person had said. Now, Orlandia chimed in, and that's who we want to hear from because she's the one who was disrespected. She said, defending it, laughing about it, or making excuses is even worse. I will not let this moment derail my purpose in uplifting my community. I'm standing firm in who I am and using this as an opportunity to call for real accountability and awareness. Let's just say she's not giving Huda a pass for this. And even with Huda's explaining over and over again with her boyfriend trying to defend it, there was no stopping this. It was too late. Huda Beauty, which is not Huda's brand, but a brand she worked with because they share the same name, actually dropped her. So you know it's bad if the fellow Huda dropped you immediately. They said, while we valued our partnership with Huda, her recent behavior and the way the situation has been handled does not reflect our brand principles. We've decided to end our partnership and remove any related content from our social media platforms and in-store displays. I do appreciate that Huda Beauty stepped up so quickly to go and wipe their hands of her, especially when there is zero accountability here and that kind of reaction. I wouldn't want to go and support that brand, but they did the right thing by jumping on it so quickly. I wonder if they like made their social media post first or told her first. I could totally see them like telling the world first.
Ciao, Huda Beauty has officially ended their brand partnership with Love Island's Huda Mustafa. In a statement posted to their Instagram, Huda Beauty said, "At Huda Beauty, kindness and humanity are at the heart of everything we do. Unfortunately, one of our recent collaborators has displayed behavior that does not align with our values."
Let's get into Sia. So Sia has been in a nasty battle with her ex, and I've got a video that we're going to be talking about this on my main channel, going through their history, but I wanted to give you guys an update on this. So they're going through a really bad divorce, and they've got a very young child that they share. Well, it looks like Sia's estranged husband wants full custody because of her drug use. She's saying even worse things, that he has been investigated for extremely inappropriate content before, like content that would be dangerous for children, so you probably wouldn't want him to have any custody. Now, their child's name is Somersault Wonder Bernard, which is a mouthful, and it looks like their divorce is getting really bad. I mean, Daniel wants a lot of money from Sia and wants control over their kid. Daniel says that Sia is an unfit, unreliable parent struggling with substance use and addiction, rendering her incapable of providing a safe or stable home for Somersault. Daniel says, "I'm the only safe and reliable parent for our son. I'm a doctor, young, healthy, and I have no criminal history or drug or alcohol issues." Sia responded that there's no reason that he should be granted full custody. She says that Somersault is safe with her, and ever since their separation, noting that they agreed back in August 2025 that Daniel would have restricted monitored visits because he is being investigated by the LAPD for inappropriate content found on his computer drive involving, again, like, yeah, bad stuff. This is getting really messy. They did not have a civil breakup. This person in the comments brought up the fact that Sia did have a relationship with Maddie Ziegler, writing, "This feels like an appropriate time to bring up what she did to Maddie."
In new legal documents obtained by TMZ, Dan is asking for sole custody of the couple's 1-year-old Somersault Wonder. Daniel alleges Sia is an unfit and unreliable parent, struggling with substance abuse and addiction, rendering her incapable of providing safe or stable care for Summy. Dan wants Sia to submit for regular and random drug testing, pay $77,245 a month for child support, and be limited to 2-hour professionally monitored visits 3 times a week. On the other hand, Dan is currently limited to only monitored visits, and Sia says it's because of a child pornography investigation. He was under investigation by the LAPD and the DCFS over illicit child pornography, allegedly found on the hard drive of his computer, but Dan claims that Sia planted the evidence in order to separate him from his child.
Now, these appear to be messages that Daniel has leaked between him and Sia, where Sia is talking about getting drugs delivered. She's talking about having multiple orders of them being delivered, and she felt wobbly. She says she's just trying to be honest about these things. She writes, "I don't actually know why I lied to you about this, but I did not find an extra Paris spray bottle on Saturday night. I had the drugs delivered that Saturday night and they made me wobble." So she's talking about how she does have an issue here. She's like, I guess, lied to him, saying that she had just found the drugs, but no, she did intend to order them and use them. According to Daniel, Sia deliberately concealed that she was hospitalized in LA for 2 weeks and tested positive for benzos with no medical explanation. He's also looking for child support of $77,000 per month to take care of Somersault. I have never heard of a 1-year-old needing $77,000 a month to exist, to thrive, to live. I mean, at $77,000, what is he eating? When it comes to the inappropriate content that Daniel was supposedly caught with, he says that Sia actually planted it and framed him, which would be crazy if that is true, if she found that material and planted it to make him lose this battle, which she did win. A judge ruled that most of the facts asserted in the legal documents from Daniel were old news. Sia claims that she had been sober for about 6 months and insists that she agreed to drug tests for both her and Dan, claiming it was Dan who refused to get drug tested on a regular basis. Sia says it is true, she suffered from substance abuse like 15 years ago, but she's been committed. She says that Dan again attempts to weaponize her past sobriety journey, and it serves no legitimate purpose and is intended only to distort the facts and undermine her credibility. There are some sketchy parts of Sia and her past, and we're going to be talking about that in my video on my main channel, so make sure you are subscribed there. Let's get into Diddy. We recently got a picture of Diddy, and we haven't seen a photograph of him in like a year, so it's wild to see him behind bars looking so old. Diddy has been transferred to New Jersey, which is why we're getting these photos of him in the prison yard. They say that this new prison will be great for Diddy because he's able to address his drug issues there, and they have like a rehab, and it's probably a better condition than where he was in Brooklyn. Now, the federal prison is considered low security, but Diddy is still in danger, according to his lawyer Mark, because there are people who want to try to unalive him to probably get up higher in the prison ranks and to feel like they're a hero. You guys may remember we did talk about Diddy having a knife held up against his throat. It looked like somebody planned to shank him or to scare him. It did scare him because he ran to the outlets. But in these photos, you could see Diddy over here in a gray hat, a navy jacket, and it looks like he's found his people, his friends. They're all just hanging out, chilling, talking. I'm sure he's got a lot of stories for them, for better or for worse. We hadn't seen a photo of Diddy in more than a year. Cameras weren't allowed in the courtroom, and we only got these descriptions and really odd looking court drawings of Diddy looking like a gray koala. But I want to hear what you guys think of this recent sighting. I mean, Diddy looks happy, he's smiling, it seems like he's doing all right. The countdown is on and holiday season is officially here. And Uncommon Goods is taking the stress out of holiday shopping with thousands of high quality and special gifts you won't find anywhere else. I was scrolling through their website and I found this cute hand-blown hummingbird feeder that just reminded me of my home in Virginia and will be the perfect gift to give my parents. What I like about Uncommon Goods, it's not generic, it's kind of like niche. It feels personal, and that's because Uncommon Goods works with a bunch of small artists and individual makers. So every product feels like one of a kind. And you guys need to go and check it out now because a lot of these products are made in small batches, so they sell out. And with every purchase, Uncommon Goods donates $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've given more than $3 million away so far. So don't wait, cross those names off your list before the rush. And to get 15% off your next gift, visit uncommongoods.com/Sloan. That is uncommongoods.com/Sloan for 15% off. Thank you, Uncommon Goods, and enjoy the rest of this episode. Starting a business can be so scary because how are you supposed to know how to make a website, start to ship out things, manage inventory, returns, process payments, all without Shopify? We love Shopify over here on this podcast, and they're the platform behind millions of businesses around the world. And they even process 10% of online sales in the US, which is huge. From brands like Mattel or Gymshark to brands just starting off, you could build a beautiful website that matches your vibe with a bunch of their templates, so you don't have to know how to code, you can just click and customize. And of course, Shopify is keeping up with the trends. You could use their AI tools to help you improve your product photos. You could have them write descriptions or generate headlines. Shopify also helps with the boring stuff as well: inventory, shipping, returns, tracking orders worldwide. It's like having a built-in business partner that knows everything. Turn your big business idea into some with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Sloan. Go to shopify.com/Sloan. Again, that is shopify.com/Sloan. Let's get into Billie Eilish. So Billie Eilish pissed off a few billionaires recently because she was at a charity event where she called them out. Now, I can't believe that they actually got upset, but it looks like Mark Zuckerberg felt personally offended by Billie. Watch her Instagram likes go down, and everything on Instagram and Facebook starts like glitching because of this feud. Pretty much, Billie asked the room the question we're all wondering: why are there billionaires? Why do you have so much money? Go and give it up.
I would just say, like, we're in a time right now where the world is really, really bad and really dark, and people need empathy and help more than kind of ever, especially in our country. And I'd say if you have money, it would be great to use it for good things and maybe give it to some people that need it. And love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
This comment says that she's so right, because why the F is any person on the planet hoarding $257 billion? Finally, a celebrity that calls out billionaires. Y'all don't understand how brave she has to be to say this. And finally, somebody said, even if your voice shakes. Mark is the third richest person in the world with $257 billion. And even though Billie Eilish is worth a fraction of that, about $50 million, she donated $11.5 million to this charitable event. Actually, Stephen Colbert was the one who announced this, and she probably donated the most, which is wild again, because like Mark Zuckerberg could easily do that. This comment reads, of course Mark didn't like it. He's a selfish billionaire. Katie said he's mad because she's right. Let's get into Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin is one of those celebrities I just cannot personally stand. And I'm also so bothered by the fact that he got away with that Rust shooting and that woman, Helena Hutchins, was killed. 4 years later, it looks like Alec isn't completely out of the woods in regards to the tragic shooting, because the gun supplier from the movie is now suing him and several others. This guy named Seth, who owns the prop and arms store, says that his reputation was tarnished because of what Alec said, blamed him essentially for the shooting. So he's claiming that Alec and others, including Helena's widowed husband, which is pretty sick, they're dragging him into this, conspired to paint him in a nationwide false light scapegoat smear campaign to distance themselves from the shooting and the investigation. The only person who was held accountable was the armorer, who was Hannah Gutierrez Reed. It looks like she was sentenced to 18 months in prison for involuntary manslaughter in connection to the shooting, but she was released in May on parole. This comment says that this lawsuit is clearly a money grab. The company is simply tarnishing their own name by doing this. I did see a recent clip of Alec Baldwin being interviewed by my favorite paparazzi. Her name is Melanie. Go and follow her on TikTok and Instagram. She is a friend of the channel and I just love her work. She's always asking the best questions, but the way that he spoke to her was so dismissive and rude and disrespectful that I wanted you guys to see this.
Hey Alec, how you doing? It's good to see you.
I'll ask you the same question I ask everyone, which is, what was the job you wanted to have that you failed at, that you ended up doing this? What were you?
So he's asking her, because she's like, what, a paparazzi? What is the job you wanted to have, but you failed as? Kind of assuming that she had already failed at something because she's in this position. And I feel like he definitely is the type who talks down to any service worker.
What was the plan? What did you want to do? Do you know?
I want to
TMZ. Oh my God. Oh my God.
He is so bitter and hateful. I mean, the way that he's smiling while trying to be rude to her and make her feel less than is gross. So thank you, Melanie, for all the good work. Let's get into Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney was out in LA, and it looked like her night took a twist when she met up with her ex-fiance right after dinner. She's supposedly dating Scooter Braun, so I don't know why she was reunited with Jonathan Davino, her ex. We're told that Sydney and her pals dined in one of the restaurant's intimate back rooms where they were watching the game while eating food and drinking. After dinner, Sydney hopped into an Uber SUV, but the ride did not last long because a few blocks away, she was dropped off and seen getting into another vehicle, this one being driven by her ex Jonathan. Then the two headed home together. And you could tell that Sydney is up to no good because she ducked down trying to avoid being photographed with him. I wonder if Scooter knows this. Now, I don't know what transpired in this car, but we got an update. It says a source who was near Sydney Sweeney's house when she got out of the car heard her scream, "I don't believe you. Please leave me alone." So it looks like maybe they had a really tough conversation. He dropped her off and that was it. But I want to hear what you guys think of this week's episode of the Let's Get Into It podcast. What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in next week's episode. Bye, guys.